Good frigidly cold Tuesday, everyone. Welcome to GardenStateWeather.com and GardenStateWeather.blogspot.com, providing superior forecasting for the northern mid-Atlantic region 24 hours a day, bringing on your winter weather on Facebook, Google+, and Twitter as well. I'm forecaster Robert Smith, and it's a cold, cold Tuesday. And, well, it's the video forecast discussion for today and the week ahead on the 19th of January 2016. And of note this morning is the absolutely frigid temperatures across the forecast region. We've got temperatures basically around 10 to 15 degrees to about 20 degrees in the metropolitan areas this morning. We still have a biting wind out there as well, with gusts into the 20s in many sections this morning, and those winds are making it feel very cold outside. Factoring the wind with the air temperature and the relative humidity values, we have temperatures this morning that feel like they're 0 to 5 degrees below, and in some cases 5 to 7 degrees above zero. Nonetheless, Arctic air is entrenched over the forecast region this morning, and you do want to be mindful stepping out the door. Make sure you're properly dressed, and also be very careful lifting your feet and noticing if there's any black ice still underneath your footing as you step away and outside the front door and the driveways and such this morning. Current surface station observations as well as satellite and radar here. We see our snow plumes here coming off of Lake Erie and also Lake Ontario this morning, and that continues with some lake effect snow advisories there. We'll get into that in a moment. The main story today is the bitterly cold Arctic air that's in place with the gusty westerly to northwesterly winds across the area. And skies are generally clear this morning. There's a few scattered clouds of the high level variety to our north and to our west this morning. Watches, warnings, and advisories, of course, across upstate New York. We have some lake effect snow advisories here coming off of Rochester and Buffalo as well, Jamestown. And basically that's because of all the snow plumes on the northwesterly wind flow. Nothing really here except the gale warnings, which are in effect on all coastal waters until tomorrow morning. Some areas here on the north shore of Long Island till 1 in the morning. Other areas on the coastal ocean fronts here until 6 a.m. on Wednesday, and the ocean fronts here until 2 a.m. on the New Jersey and Delaware coast. On the aviational weather front for today, we know that we have VFR conditions in place and expected to last through tonight and tomorrow too. Ceiling of around 4,000 feet could develop by midday around Allentown and Trenton over the hills there, and Reading also but towards the Poconos, but will dissipate and remain basically VFR through the rest of the day. The story here is gusty northwesterly winds continuing through the period. Gust up to 30 knots possible, primarily between the mid-morning and early evening tonight. Otherwise, expect gust up to about 25 knots. Wednesday VFR conditions. Wednesday night, there's a chance that snow showers could lead to MVFR conditions at times. That's another trough moving through in the northwest flow. Thursday VFR conditions expected. Friday, this is where everything of interest comes into view. Steady lowering conditions to IFR with snow developing for the region by late day, increasing northeast winds gusting to 15 to 20 knots during the day, gusts ranging from 30 to 40 knots later at night. Blowing, drifting snow, and plowable operations are possible here. Low-level wind shear also possible. Saturday, IFR conditions in snow with blowing, drifting snow possible. Could see a changeover to rain and snow or rain during the day as far north as Philadelphia. Everybody else is in snow. Continued gusty north to northeast winds at 25 to 35 knots with gust up to 40 knots, plus closer to the coast as well with low-level wind shear possible. Well, we know we are going to have a winter storm finally. Anyway, right now outside of Newark International, it's cold. 16 degrees, dew point 2 Fahrenheit. Humidity 53%, wind howling in out of the west at 15, gust to 24, visibility 10 miles, clear skies, wind chill 1 degrees. Philadelphia right now, if we pull this up, can we pull it up? Yeah, there we go. 17 degrees, dew point 1 degrees below 0 Fahrenheit. Relative humidity 44%, wind northwest 14, gust to 26, visibility 10, few clouds around the region, wind chill 3 degrees above 0. National view this morning shows our lows departing here over the Newfoundland and Labrador here, and it's tight pressure gradient still in effect across the region. Lake effect snow showers here. High pressure building in slowly across the upper Midwest into the southeastern states during today. Another low pressure area here in the Texas Arklatex area, producing snow on the north side. There's winter weather advisories out in this region here, and the freeze warnings, believe it or not, with all this cold air in the northern part, southern part of Georgia and northern Florida today. We've got rain. The El Nino is continuing in a centrally based location, and that's enhancing the convection around the dateline. It's also sending streams of moisture in from off the Pacific, first in the polar and Arctic stream, and then the subtropical jet stream as well. And the area of interest here is the sampling of this piece of information that must get into the RAOB data for the models to ingest it correctly into the forecast going forward to give us a piece and clue on how this winter storm, possibly a major winter storm for the northeast and mid-Atlantic coast states, evolves during Friday night through Sunday morning. Forecast charts from the Weather Prediction Center. Here's the high building in across our region. Slackening winds gradually decreasing throughout the rest of today. Spreading its snow, rain, and ice across this area. Lots of watches and warnings here. Here's our next system coming in from the Pacific Northwest and bringing plenty of rain and mountain snows across the Midwest, across the western United States and into the Rockies by later tonight as well as that system pulls out. See the high building in. Here comes a secondary trough. This produce a little bit of light snow showers over the hills of northwestern New Jersey tomorrow morning, or especially the Poconos and upstream from there around Monticello or so. And here comes our storm system through the out of the Arklatex area, getting into the Mississippi-Tennessee River Valley area, the Ohio River Valley area, spreading a swath of light snow to the north, and then a mixture of rain, sleet, and mixture of ice in between. Here comes our storm out through the plains now. Through the Rockies here, and more energy moving in. And this is what's going to happen. This storm will, this is now we're on to Wednesday night here. This minoring out here could be some light snow showers around the region tomorrow and tomorrow night and Thursday, mainly to our west. The main story here is what the development of these two areas of low pressure and how they interact. And right now, the latest forecast charts for Friday show the storm deepening. We can already see that calm ahead high, that banana high that we'd like to see, both providing the cold on the western side and also on the northern side, locking in the cold. We've got cold air damming signature here in the isobars, and here comes the low out of the Tennessee River Valley. This storm will be deepening rapidly, and we call this bombogenesis, similar to storms of this nature, cyclones of this nature, like the January 7th through the 9th storm back in 1996, the blizzard of January 1996. Now, this may not be comparably the same, but there are some, there are definitely some similarities to this. We've got the high across the region, and we could get rain around the Delmarva area. Everybody else could be snow. It could really be pulsing in on Saturday morning, probably arriving late Friday night. It's spreading its shield of snow with rapid intensity of snow. We could be dealing with a strong deformation zone, and we'll get into that in a minute. It finally pulls away on Sunday morning out of off the coast of northern New England, providing snow in this area too. Near blizzard conditions are likely in some of these regions here, including the New Jersey, New York City, Philadelphia metropolitan area. It's likely that that is a strong possibility. It's definitely at the time of high tide, so we know we're going to have coastal concerns as well. And we could even have some power outages. That's not out of the question yet. Now, it is premature to talk about snowfall amounts, but if this thing really does come together as well as the model and ensemble guidance is showing, this could be really one of those formidable, rememberable winter storms of this winter season that hasn't really even started yet until this gets going, outside of a few light snow events that we've had here already. And then the pattern begins to calm down just a little bit, relaxes, which is normal after a major winter storm. And then we've got more high pressure building in across the southeastern United States for Monday. It brings our temperatures up and our height rises up a little bit. And then there's more precipitation in the northern stream, and the polar and Arctic jet stream getting more active again by the early to mid part of late next week, and that means the temperatures are going to tumble once again. Never mind this graphic here. Okay, like we did yesterday, we'd like to look at the vertical velocities here, the positive vorticity advection, and at the 500 millibar level, about 18,000 feet. This is the energy that will be coming into the RAOB data for the models to ingest better on Wednesday morning, late tonight, and Wednesday morning's model cycle. So we should have a better handle on this, but we can already see one trough exiting off the east coast, and of course we could have a little bit of light snow in this vicinity here. But the main story is this building ridge out on the west coast and then extending eventually further into Canada and through Montana. We go through the cycle here. This is what's going to help the northern stream disturbance and the southern stream disturbance to help begin to close off the low. And right now it's in a positive state, which is natural during the process of evolution here. It goes into a neutral tilt. The model guidance continues to show the strong ridging out here across this area, southwestern Canada, and into the northern Rockies here. This is a good indicator that this helps to amplify the downstream trough, also helps to pull the upper energy into the base of the trough as it's tilting neutral, and then eventually it turns negative with a closing off of the low. And right now we're expecting the low to close off the 500 millibar level during the day across, Virginia's here by Saturday morning, and this stream is going to provide us with the zone of the heaviest snow banding as it makes its way across the region, and it becomes a little bit elongated here, and the models have been showing this, so we could have a backing low back to the coast, a little slower progression as this heads northeast, and then of course we see the flow becoming more zonal to help push this out. But Saturday right now looks like a very snowy day from this forecasted vantage at this time. We'll start off with the GFS this morning, but even if you use the CMC, if you use the NavGem, or if you use the ensemble model guidance, including the European operational and parallel and ensemble, it's all really going to spell out similar conditions across the region. Northwesterly winds, here comes the one disturbance through, high pressure building in, and by the time we get into Friday, cold air damming in place, snow developing and breaking out rapidly across Maryland and Virginia, southwestern Pennsylvania, a little bit of ice here to the south and east as the low rapidly deepens. And we call this bombogenesis. And how deep it goes and how far away from the benchmark it goes, meaning 40-70 here. That's usually our good indicator of a benchmark here. It's going to be snowing pretty good. Could be mixing with a little bit of rain late around the coastal areas, but Saturday looks like a pretty snowy day, and the snow could then back turn as we have a little bit more of an inverted trough here showing up in all the model guidance by Saturday afternoon. We could find strong deformation banding, moderate periods of snow coming down at a couple of inches per hour is not out of the question during any time during the day on Saturday if this model guidance holds true. And then eventually, of course, we're dealing with the coastal flooding and the high tide cycles with an astronomically high moon cycle during a full moon cycle during this weekend as well. So we're going to be dealing with a very complex and potentially dangerous winter storm for the northern mid-Atlantic region this weekend. So of course we're going to be monitoring everything as we always do live 24/7 on Twitter, Facebook, and Google+, and also on GardenStateWeather.com and GardenStateWeather.blogspot.com. For everything live, it is GardenStateWeather.com. I'm your forecaster, Robert Smith, bringing on your winter 2016. Be safe and warm outside today, and we'll be back in video form on Wednesday morning.